So
I was merely offering to help you get rid of a pest.
I don't need your help. I will get rid of that woman when I'm ready. But first, I will find out what secrets she is keeping. Then I will go back to living in peace.
Very well, then. That pest has no place in your sweet solitude. So the world before you now is so much kinder, so much warmer than the one you used to know. Well, good luck then. And if you need a helping hand, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, and by the way,
What now?
you've changed, my dear. And I like you so much better like this. I always hated how much you reeked of human. You are blessed with a body like unto God. You are personally created by his hands. I could only dream of having what you have. But you only wanted to deny it. Now, though, you act the part much better. A saint resurrected by the closest living thing to God. Perhaps this too could be considered a miracle.
Morgana,
Yes.
you are a deranged, delusional woman.
Why, thank you.
Giselle was a woman who smiled a great deal. Her jade eyes seemed to glimmer every time she made a new face. And the more she smiled, the more vibrantly she spoke, the more suspicious I became. I couldn't trust someone who smiled that much, especially not a woman. And the way she kept trying to get friendly with me didn't help that impression. I had a hard time believing she honestly wanted to get to know me. I couldn't help but think she was trying to fish for information. Anyone who tried to get close to me had to have some ulterior motive, like Amy, who had only done so to satisfy me. Perhaps my mistrust could have been considered paranoia, but even 10 years later, flashes of the nightmare would still come back to me from time to time. It would take more than a few attempts at being nice for me to trust this stranger. Eventually, I came to the realization that she was hiding something, and I convinced myself it was out of guilt. So I wrote Mother in search of something I could use to tear her down to get her out of here. I should have listened to Giselle rather than my mother or the witch, but I conflated her with Amy in my mind, so I was unable to see where the truth really lay. I was only able to perceive her as malicious. So instead of her, I put my faith in Mother's words, despite Mother never once doing the same for me. My beloved daughter Michelle, I deeply regret having to put you in this situation. I never wanted to let that woman get anywhere near you. She is a witch. A terrible, sinful witch. A dreadful, tainted woman. She lay with my husband, with your father. She's a lowly merchant girl who wormed her way into our family so she could exploit your father for money. She committed a grievous sin. The sin of adultery. I tried to have her executed, but your father wouldn't allow it. So instead he had her banished to atone for her sins, unaware that you already lived there. And I could not tell him either, for that is mine and your brother's secret. I pray you can find it in your heart to forgive your mother for her failings. Forgive me for delivering a witch to you. I would not be surprised if she tried stooping around. She's a ruthless fiend who will do anything for money. Should one of your curse happen to spread, it would surely draw unwanted attention from the church. We have no allies except each other. Michelle, With this letter, I have included a knife. The blade has been blessed with holy water, which would allow it to eradicate the corrupt, evil soul of the witch. I ask of you, with all my heart, to send that awful creature back to hell.
Christ.
Ooh. It was storming that night. Erratic clouds of thunder ripping through the sky. Giselle let a panicked scream, shoving me back, and the look in her eyes kicked into motion emotions that I thought I had lost. I knew that face. I knew that scream. Because that face had once been mine. I had screamed with that same utter despair at the world. Back to the way things were.
Yes, finally it's quiet again. I'm honestly surprised she stayed as long as she did. In a way, her tenacity is rather impressive. Not many would persist for so long in the face of such obvious disinterest. But you know no one would try to get friendly with you without good reason. Information about you carries considerable weight outside these walls.
But the look on her face then. Was that really just her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming?
If you think she was afraid of you, you're mistaken. That's how people behave when their sins are brought to light.
She was screaming though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand.
You're not going to let a woman's screams cloud your judgment, are you? A woman can make a weapon out of anything. Tears, a smile, fear. The day she arrived, you recognized her smile as fake. So surely you aren't going to fall for this.
I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up.
Just nothing, my dear. In fact, what perplexes me is why you didn't simply kill her when you had the chance. Are you afraid of the sight of blood? The blood of your tormentors has no more worth than that of a wild boar. You should have sliced her throat without a second thought. Although, I suppose that would have made quite the mess. Now that makes more sense. You were not afraid of hurting her. You merely didn't want the burden of having to clean up afterward. How very like you.
Be quiet.
Oh, come now. That woman's finally gone, and it's back to just the two of us. And you don't want to talk.
Silence, please.
As you wish. I will celebrate your accomplishment in silence, my dearest friend. I imagine she's out there, half buried in the cold earth by now.
I get chills every time I consider where I would be if I had done as Mother said. If I had killed you, or if, out there in the forest, you had succumbed to the unforgiving weather. Life had never given me much in the way of good fortune. But you coming back, you being alive, was absolutely a blessing.
I'm done! I can't take it! I'm through with this whole world! You don't have any idea what I went through there! How hard it was to just keep myself together!
Giselle, I do understand. I know very well how difficult, how painful it can be for no one to believe you, for no one to accept you. I know far too well what it's like to want to scream that you're done with this whole damned world. I truly. That day, for the first time, we saw past the surface. We got to know each other as people. It was nothing more than a single small step, but for us, it was like we had moved in. I still remember how the light felt as it shone through the windows we opened together. It didn't burn. And while this might sound melodramatic, I felt safe in saying it was probably the gentlest light I had ever felt in my life. Ooh. Following my reconciliation with Giselle, I started turning back into my old self. Well, I suppose that's not quite correct. I felt a comfort and peace with myself that I'd never had before. That may have been the first time I was really human. Having someone else around began to feel normal. It was something I was certain I would never have. It was incredible. Though, to someone else, our time together may have seemed frivolous and empty. Our conversations, meaningless chatter. I never thought the day would come when someone would laugh at something I said. When someone would smile at the sight of me. However trivial, seeing Giselle smile made me happy.
Oh, darn it. Where'd you get off to? Are you here? Are you in the vase?
What's all that racket? Is something the matter?
Master. Yes, a cat.
Huh? A cat?
It's ugly Speckles. A naughty little cat's been sneaking into the cellar the past few days, so I'm trying to catch him. If you happen to come across him, don't let him get away.
Right. And what will you do once you've caught it?
Well, I don't want to punish him. That would be mean. If he insists on coming back, I think I'll take him in and teach him how to be a house cat.
You mean to keep him?
Are you not fond of cats, Master?
I don't mind them, no.
Then there you have it. I hope he doesn't take too long to warm up to us.
Maybe it'll help if you give him a name.
Oh, a name. That's a great idea. What should we call him, Master, then? You decide.
You want me to pick a name?
This is your house, after all. So it's only right you would be the one to choose. Drumroll, please.
I'm not sure I follow that reasoning. What does the cat look like?
Well, he's wild, so he's dirty, I guess. And he's kind of got some spots here and there.
Is he ugly? Oh no! Michelle, no, not that name.
I'd say so, yeah.
Alright then. He's gonna say it.
Yeah!
Ah! Ugly Speckles. Mach 2. Right? That's what MK means, right?
I've never seen that. Her face. That's a name? Why on earth would you want to call something that? What does MK Mark II even mean?
Quiet.
It's on you if he runs away, Master. Ugly Speckles, the Reckoning.
My time with Giselle made a normal person out of me.
Oh
Made me able to
no!
tell stupid jokes. Oh my god! To get frustrated or surprised or exasperated, I started showing actual emotion. Our silly, meaningless banter became something precious. My heart of stone began to soften. The world she created for me was what I had yearned for my whole life. Having lost half of it in prison and the other half playing in an identity that conflicted with how I felt in my heart, it was the first time I genuinely felt like I was allowed to be myself.
Yeesh, you're not a kid, so don't be so picky. It's not good for you. a mockery of culinary arts! I've heard quite enough, master. It sounds like I'm going to need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. How about this, master? Play a game against me. And of course, if you're open to it, it doesn't have to end there. We can continue getting to know each other for years to come. I love him.
Monopoly! Giselle, though I did my best not to show it, I think that I treasured our time together even more than you did. I'd latched onto it, desperately refusing to let go. I needed it, and I needed you. No, I need more of those scenes. Are you listening, Morgana?
I can hear you just fine, my dear. Now, what brings you all the way up here? You know you can call me from anywhere in the house. My bonds to this tower have been broken.
This is a conversation we can only have here. The place where we first met. It's time for us to part ways. My desires haven't changed since our first encounter. I wish to be a person.
To be a man.
Exactly. When I'm with Giselle, I am that. She makes me into the person I always wanted to be.
And now you wish to be rid of me, so you can complete your descent into the realm of the unclean.
I do.
You came all the way up here just to tell me that. A needless formality. I'm sorry, Michelle, but we are kindred spirits, as much as you may want to deny it. You could be second to only God, yet you spurn his gift.
I am nothing like you. I am a human, nothing more.
I shall not condemn you for your unyielding resolve, but rather pity you for being so utterly blind. Allow me to make a prediction before I depart, Michelle, cursed namesake of an archangel. You may think that you're making some sort of progress, but the fact of the matter is, you've gone nowhere. Will that smile of Giselle's be able to withstand your secret? You know better than anyone that no one can accept what you are, not even her. You will never be with anyone.
I understand that.
No, Michelle, you don't understand. But you will soon enough. What you have now is not true happiness. It's empty, naught but a masquerade. And when the night is over, the masks will come off.
So what if it isn't permanent, isn't real? Does being ephemeral make it worthless? Why can I not want something that doesn't last forever? This is the first time I've ever found joy in life.
Those moments of happiness only serve to worsen the loss. The sweeter the honey, the more you despair when the pot runs dry. Sooner or later you will return to me, begging for my help. And I have every intention of giving it to you. I will not hold this over you either. For when you come to me, it will be in the time of your utmost despair. And when your little paradise finally comes crumbling down, you will become what I am. So I will take my leave from your side in anticipation of that day. Until we meet again, my dear. Oh, hello, Master. I was just looking for you. I heated up some wine and thought you might... Is something the matter?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
No, it's nothing. All I did was warm it over the fire. Are you sure nothing's the matter?
I shouldn't be hearing the witch's voice anymore. So yes, I am fine.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful news, Master.
It is. Giselle seemed quite relieved when I informed her the witch would no longer be bothering me. I knew she didn't believe in the witch, but that wasn't what mattered. What did matter was that, despite likely questioning my sanity when I had first told her about it, she hadn't tried to pull away. She treated me the same as before. She never stopped. And that meant so much more than whether or not she believed in the witch. With Morgana's voice no longer constantly in my ears, my life started to feel like some approximation of normal. In fact, I would say I was probably happier than most. Nevertheless, I intended to keep a certain degree of distance between us, for what the witch had said rang truer than I wanted to admit. You would be with anyone. Having been born into this body, that was my reality, and there was nothing I could do to change it. I had come to accept that, or so I thought. I wasn't going to covet what I couldn't have, but I had gotten a taste of that sweet happiness. I had started to develop a great affection for that smile. And as much as I tried to tell myself that I was just getting caught up in the moment, that the feelings would pass in time, I found myself unable to restrain the swelling of emotions within me. Aww.
Such a cute CG. Oh.
That day by the fireplace, I thought that all I wanted from you was friendship. To have you in my life, always nearby. I thought that if we were simply friends, I would still be able to see that smile, even if you were to learn what I was. That if we were merely friends, you would be able to accept that. So I'd keep these things I felt inside, at all costs. However, with each passing day, with each gentle smile, my affection for you swelled. It reached the point where, as hard as I tried to keep it contained, all it would take was the slightest nudge for it to come spilling out. And it made me desire what was out of reach. I was convinced I had changed, because his happiness had become my everyday. I had no right to any such thing, but I came to wish that I would be the center of your life. I yearned for you, and I wanted you to yearn for me. And like the fool I am, I thought that with you it might even be possible.
Honestly, it's no trouble. I mean it. You just took me by surprise, that's all. I am pleased. It doesn't matter how it turns out. You drew it for me, Master. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. I would be happy with anything drawn for me by the man I love.
That one word set me into motion. For I had long since fallen deeply, utterly in love with you, and there was no escaping. That CG.
Oh god. This is the only one that's just, Like the
Strange.
style is so good, but there's just so many weird things about it. The awkward cleavage shot, and like Giselle's hair doesn't seem like it's on her head, right? Like it's actually attached, and then of course Michelle's stoned look. Listen very carefully. I I I love you. I love you so much. I feel like my heart is going to explode.
Nevertheless, there was also no escaping my past, what I was. Knowing I could never truly be with you, that I could do nothing about this body, I pushed you away. But seeing all the color drain from your face, I knew I had to take that step. I thought that maybe you could change my world if you really did love me as much as you said. Together, we could change everything. We could walk in the past side by side, and so, I decided to trust my heart.
I'm in heaven. I'm so happy I could cry.
I too was elated.
Ah, yes, this one. Kanetsu, let's not linger on this image.
Oh, I'm sorry! Giselle, I'm sure you thought I was a kind-hearted man. That my love for you was pure and chaste. And I wanted to be that for you. But beneath the surface lurked indecent desires. Despite saying I didn't want to hurt you, that just having you by my side was enough. My desire bubbled up the warmth of your... all I did was I kept hitting space, so like I have a wall of text.
Oh.
And like the log.
Okay.
So we don't have to keep the screen on that.
Okay.
I wanted to let that heat take over, to let my hands run free. I could feel it burning inside me. I longed for intimacy, not just emotionally, but physically. I wished I could lay you down on my bed and satisfy those desires. I wanted to make love to you. Unfortunately, that was not possible. I didn't have the ability. No matter how hard I try, my body lacks the capability to be one with you. I can pray, and I can long, and I can wish all I want, but my body will never be what I want it to be. I am gray. Though I have always known my true color, I have no way of becoming it. My heart has always known what I am, but the world refuses to accept it. Every time I claim I'm normal, 5 say I'm an abomination. Would it really have been too much to ask for me to be born normal? To let me be who I truly am? Is that really so much to ask? Things began to change when I learned my father Antonin had passed away. Georgie's would, I assumed, be busy preparing to take his place. And if what he said was true, then I would be welcomed back to the estate. I would no longer be a demon child, but a member of the Bollinger family once more. Deep down, though, I couldn't completely believe it would actually happen. After 11 years in exile, I had no idea how they felt about me anymore. Would they even remember a promise they had made so long ago? Fear that they wouldn't threaten to consume me, but Giselle, as she often seemed to do, put my mind at ease.
No matter where I go, you'll be there with me, Michelle. It's true, I am nervous not knowing what the future holds. But not in a scared something bad will happen kind of way. It's more of a jittery, excited anxiousness. I'm confident the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles may come our way. Together, we can create an even more wonderful future.
Could I believe her? Could I have faith in her wonderful future? That she would always be there with me. That we would return to the estate and finally move on with our lives. That together we could create a future. No, that wasn't a question. I wanted to have faith. I wanted to believe as much as she did. I wanted to believe that, even if I was gray, I could have a normal life together with her. She had rescued me from the depths of hell, and now I wanted to make her happy. After taking that step in our relationship, I made numerous attempts to reveal the truth about what I was. But every time I tried, sharp pain gripped my chest and my words faded into nothing before they could reach my lips. I knew that if our relationship were to continue, I would have to tell her eventually, but merely imagining her face twisted in disgust nearly crushed me. She was everything to me. And so, as we prepared for our departure, I decided it was time to make some changes. It was time for me to break out of my... And what happened next depended largely on whether Mother and my brothers were willing to accept me as a man. The course my future took was in their hands. In their hearts. If they couldn't accept me, then I couldn't return home.
You can do it, Coco. Advance. Blah, blah.
大広間にいた者に停電をアイロンが停電の引き金ならば犯人は停電直前に倉庫に行ってアイロンの電源を入れたはずだ。それとも電源撤回する気か。大広間にいた者に停電アイロンが停電の引き金ならばその言葉切らせてもらう。
切らせてもらう。
アイロンは停電の原因にはなったけど直接的な引き金になったわけじゃない。
The irons are just one reason the blackout occurred, but they weren't the direct trigger.
直接の引き金になったのは大広間と事務室のエアコンの電源が入ったことなんだ。
The direct trigger was when the air conditioners in the dining hall and office clicked on. Air conditioners?
あの2台のエアコンのタイマーはどっちも11時30分に設定されてたんだ。
The timers for both air conditioners were set to 11:30 p.m.
11時30分って観測ちゃんが落ちんだ時間もそれくらいだよ。
11:30 p.m. Mr. Hamhand died around that